Okay folks, it's that time. We're gonna do sump maintenance, annual cleaning. Let's get into it. Alrighty folks, just as promised, this is my annual seamless sump cleanup. I do it once a year, and it's about that time, and we're going to use this little pump that I bought from Higer. It's a little bitty pump, and we use it to suck the bottom of these chambers out and clean the bottom of my sump. Along with that is I got this big plastic tub for all of the biomedia that's in this chamber over here. I got to take it out and rinse the biomedia off, so I'll be using that as well. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is I got to turn off the pumps, and once I turn off the pumps, the water's going to rise until it stops coming down into the sump, and then we can start the maintenance process. So let's get that done first. So up in here, that powers all my pumps, lights, everything. Now my FX6 is still running, and as you can see, the water is rising very quickly. It'll balance out in here. Once the water gets done draining down, then we will commence to drain it out the chambers. So the first chamber that I'm going to do is slide over this way, and we're going to do the sock tub. Anyway, we'll give this a couple more minutes, and she should be pretty much done draining. So, not to keep this video so long and crazy, you're not going to be able to see me do a lot of things. I'll kind of just pause the video and get things done, and then I'll restart it up and show you what I'm going to do. The actual sock tub that you see right there, the first tub, once I get it drained, I'm actually going to take it out, and I'm going to take it outside, and I'll just wash it out with a hose. The rest of the tubs will stay underneath the tank. I will just vacuum them out with that little pump that I got from Higer. So anyhow, let's get after that, and we'll deal with that. All right, folks, so you can see what I've done is I've taken the glass lid off of here. I've removed my drain tubes right here and just set them down into this next chamber to drain the excess of water off. So the next stage is to actually go down in here and drop that pump in there and suck the water out of this sock tub. All righty, folks, pump is in there, and we're draining water out. So this will take a little bit of time and maybe a couple of bucket loads to get it all taken care of. So let's go from there. All right, folks, as you can see, I've lifted up this tub. I've got it drained mostly. There's a little bit left in the bottom, but we're going to grab this thing up out, and we're going to take it outside, and we're going to go wash it. So as you can see, it comes out as one big module. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty easy, and they're really easy to clean. So let's take it outside and let's deal with it. All right, folks, so we got her outside, and I want you to look down inside there. So you can see there's a little bit of dirt in there, not a whole ton load, but we're gonna wash it out, get it all cleaned up. So let's go from there. Let me get the hose and get after it. Alrighty, so to show you is originally, you see these bolts I got in there, those are stainless steel 1/4 inch bolt and nuts. So originally This seamless sump come the sock holders, these things here that hold your socks in place. So they came with little plastic connectors that held it into the tub. Well, they kept falling apart and falling off, and the sock and the whole bracket and everything would fall down. So I fixed that by just putting some stainless steel 1/4 inch nuts and bolts, and it's fixed. So I don't have that problem anymore. Anyway, so that's it for this part of the sump maintenance. And next we'll take this back in and we'll put it back in, and we'll put the drain hoses in it, and then we'll commence to working on the rest of the tubs. Alright folks, so I'm going to show you, I'm going to do this one-handed, show you how easy it is just to put this back in place. That's why I like this modular sump by Custom Aquariums. There you go folks, all in, single-handedly, lightweight, it's all clean. Now it's just a matter of, let me put the hoses back in, put the socks back on there, and put the glass top on there, and then we can work on the rest of it. Alright folks, so the sock tub is completed. The socks are back in, the top's back on, the overflow's in there. So now let's take a look at the biomedia chamber. Now you see all that, there's extra biomedia down there, 5 trays of biomedia that comes with it. So next we're going to drain this and take the biomedia out of here, and we're going to put it in a tray that I got right beside me, and we'll go after it. So let me get that done. Okay folks, so I got all the biomedia out. It's all sitting here, and as you can see, the biomedia does not look bad, right? It's not all covered in muck, but I am going to rinse it, and this is a sponge that sits on top of that right here. This catches all the stuff coming out of the sock chamber that gets washed through, right? So it tries to catch all the bulk before it hits the biomedia. But anyway, you can see down in there, pretty freaking nasty. So we need to clean it. Let's get after it. So you can see the nastiness coming up out of there. So, yep. Once a year I do this, just to keep the chambers clean. The next one will be the pump chamber, and that one will probably be worse than this, I would imagine. The reason why I like this pump so much is, look, it can sit flat on the bottom and just pull up that junk, and it's small and it fits right in there. That was the whole purpose of buying that pump. Okay, so folks, I got that tub drained, and I'm going to use my Harbor Freight shop towels to clean the inside of it out. I'll just throw the wet towels in my orange bucket, Jesse. I know you love the blue buckets, but I just happen to have an orange bucket. My blue bucket had a crack in it, so I had to throw it away. Anyhow, let's take a look what it looks like in there. So it's kind of deceiving because the blackness that you see is that rubber mat, but it's really not too dirty in there. But we're going to sop it all up with these towels, and then I'll show you what it looks like once I got it cleaned. All right, so the media chamber is now cleaned and looking good. And now we got to take all this media outside and rinse it off, and then we'll bring it all back in, reset up the media chamber, and then we'll go to the pump chamber over there. That's the next step. All right folks, this is the media, so let's get to rinsing it. So while this video is playing at high speed while I'm rinsing my media in tap water, just to point out, rinsing your media in tap water is perfectly fine. For those of folks that believe that you're rinsing in tap water that you're going to lose all your beneficial bacteria, that's a flat out lie. Don't believe it. I've done it for many, many years, and there's no problem with it. So for all you haters out there that say I'm doing it wrong and you keyboard warriors, just never mind. Don't even waste your comment because I don't believe none of it anyway. I've been doing this like this in tap water for many, many, many years. So if you can't tell, his media is nice and clean now. It wasn't that bad, to be honest with you, but still, once a year, gotta handle it. So that's what we do. All right, folks, so we're back inside. Got the media here. So let me put these things, the baskets back in. They're real simple. You just drop them in one on top of another. And I'll throw this sponge right here on top of the media, put the glass top back on the chamber, and that chamber will be done. So I'll show it to you once I get everything put in. All right, folks, so all 5 baskets of media are now in the chamber. Next thing to do is throw the sponge on top. And part of the reason for this sponge is simply for quietness, number one, and to catch whatever stuff that we can catch prior to going into the chamber through that sponge. So this chamber, put the glass top back on it, voila. So these 2 chambers are now done. So let's move on to the pump chamber. This will be the one that'll have a bunch of crap in it for sure. Okay, folks, so this is my pump chamber. I have 2 CJ 5.0 pumps in here. I gotta disconnect them. I'm gonna take those pumps out and clean them, and we're gonna drain this chamber down. Now when I drain this chamber down, it's also gonna drain this chamber down. So we're gonna have to siphon out quite a bit of water. So anyway, let's get that done. All right, guys. So I got the pumps off. You can see this thing is just nasty. There's the 2 pumps, CJ 5.0 Synchros. Now I'm draining the tubs. So this is going to take probably 20 gallons anyway between the 2 tubs. All right, folks. So I got the chambers drained and cleaned, and they're looking good. And now we got to clean up this mess over here. All right, let's get this pumps and sponge cleaned up. All right, so I'm gonna come over here a little closer so I can sit down because my old butt's hurting. So we'll just do a little bit at a time here. Get the cover done. So these pumps, like I say, about once a year, take them apart and clean them. Gotta be careful not to lose that rubber piece. We'll be able to clean a little bit better here. Toothbrush to clean this little baby off. Clean out the port. And if you don't have one of these are a nice little thing to have too, to clean out little areas. So the next is to pull out the, this thing is strong magnet, this thing, and look at the goo in there. So this is why once a year we need to clean these things. And all I do is just take a little toothbrush, clean off the fins, set this baby down here. Now let's look in here. As you can see, that's what these are good for, cleaning out the goo. And your little toothbrush. And you can clean out this just as well. A couple of swags through it. A couple of more swags through the port. So this pump is clean. So now you got to get this baby in there. And this is a trick. There we go. We got that baby in there. And this baby goes in here like so. And line these babies up. I think this means top. Yeah. And then you just snap this baby in place like so. And then we are good to go. And then this just screws on like so. And this you can adjust your flow. And as you can see, this one was wide open. Alright folks, there we are. Pumps are back installed. The foam piece is back down there underneath it to help quiet the vibration. The evaporation chamber is cleaned. Everything's good. So now it's time to fill the sump and get this baby up and running. Alright folks, so we are filling it up right now. I put a bunch of stability and some C-Cam safe in there to throw inside there, and it's enough to treat this entire tank. So we're filling up the sock tub, and as that fills up, it'll overflow into the media tub, and then it'll go from the media tub to the pump chamber, and from the pump chamber it's going to go into the evaporation chamber. And once I get to the point where I'm sitting right there where it says max line, then I'll shut the water off and we'll kick everything on and we'll go from there. Yeah, I can sing that song. How high is the water, mama? 3 foot high and rising. How high is the water, mama? 3 foot high and rising. Better keep to my day job, huh? Because my singing sucks. But as you can see, it's starting to fill the pump chamber now. We're up there a little bit. So as it feeds the pump chamber, it's also feeding over to the evaporation chamber at the same time. All right, folks. So we are full to where I want it. And let me slap the cover back on here, and let's turn the power on. Let's get this thing going. And I can see I'm going to have to do something with some foam with the pumps because they're vibrating pretty good. So let's take care of that too. Alright folks, so we are done, fixed. So what happened, why I was making so much noise is one of the pumps, when I assembled it back together, evidently I didn't have it in quite right and it was causing it to make noise. As soon as I unplugged one, didn't make a difference. Unplugged the other, ooh, instantly quiet. So okay, let me take the pump back apart, reassemble it. So that's what I did. Everything's quiet now. Pump is running good. Tank is running awesome. So we are up and done. So that is my annual maintenance that I do once a year on this sump. And it's pretty simple. It's just time consuming. and kind of a pain in the butt because you got to crawl up underneath this thing to do all that. But for once a year, it's no big deal, and we get her done. And what did I think about that little pump that I was using? Let's take a look at that real quick. So there's that little pump, and I'm here to tell you that's been a great lifesaver for me for this to suck the crap out of the bottom of the sump, and did me justice, so I ain't complaining. One other test I will do with this at a later date is I'm actually going to put a media bag around it and do a water change on one of my small tanks with it and see how that works. So anyway, that is it, and I hope you enjoyed this long video and hope you stuck with me to the end. But that's what it takes to maintain a sump, you know, once a year. You don't have to do it very often, but you know, once a year and you're good. And the seamless sump, it just makes it so much easier because it's modular, you know. So I love it. Anyway, y'all have a good one. Thank you for watching.